Good day, everybody. It's currently the 15th of November 2012. We are currently looking at Tropical Depression 25W. It still has not been named yet by the Japan Meteorological Agency. Also, a little bit later on in the update, we're going to talk about some weather over the Philippines. And in Japan, there's some snow going on and some rough weather. Even a tornado was reported earlier today. So we'll get on to that a little bit later on. But first, let's talk about our Tropical Depression, bringing all sorts of heavy rainfall across the eastern portions of Vietnam. The center of circulation is actually down here towards the south, despite the fact that the overall cloud cover is really stretching off there towards the north, and that's just due to that inflow of moisture coming in from the southeast off the South China Sea, where it's exceptionally warm sea surface temperatures and really just running into the shorelines here. So if there's any chance of some flooding, I do think it's going to be farther off here towards the north, around Da Nang, even as far north as there, extending down towards the south, and then going into tomorrow and then eventually Friday, Cambodia and northern Thailand. You're going to be expecting some significant heavy rainfall as this pushes across. But as you can see at this time, it still remains a rather disorganized system, with the bulk of the convection well away from the center of circulation. And at least at this time, I don't think personally it is going to be developing into a tropical storm. But if we overlay the track from the Joint Typhoon Warning Center on here, you can see that as it goes out, it does eventually actually start upwards of about 35 knots as it re-emerges here towards the Gulf of Thailand. If it was to become a tropical storm, I do think that that is the most likely case, given the sea surface temperatures here are even warmer out here, plus some more favorable conditions. Right now, the storm system is just getting battered by the northeast monsoon across this entire area, and that's tearing it apart as far as wind shear. Actually, let's just overlay the wind shear, excuse me. You can see off here towards the north about 20 to 30 knots. The least amount of shear is just over that big bulk of convection, but the center of circulation is still getting battered around 20 to 30 knots. So with that said, the storm system just does not want to develop. Nonetheless, still bringing all sorts of heavy rain out here as it pushes off here towards the west. And we're talking about the center of circulation down here. Now this is a 72-hour accumulation forecast. And you can see actually a bulk of that precip once again is being drawn out of the South China Sea, just dropped there on the east coast. I do think that is where the significant portions of severe flooding is going to be across the eastern portions of Vietnam. Meanwhile, a low pressure area in the Philippines is also drawing in some moisture. We're going to talk about that in just a second. That's what we're seeing right here in that big pink area there in Luzon. But eventually the storm will meander over towards Thailand. I think on Friday, eventually maybe Saturday, also seeing that heavy rainfall out there. Let's take a look at what the high resolution COAMPS model is currently saying. You can see down here towards the bottom left of the screen, you have that circulation going across. It remains, once again, fairly disorganized, just clipping Vietnam's coast before moving off towards the west, and likely starting to reorganize here into the Gulf of Thailand as a strong tropical depression, weak TS, but with that rainfall moving towards the west with it. And this is actually the track from the Japan Meteorological Agency. Due to the fact it's just a tropical depression at this point, they're not going out past 24 hours. But my thoughts, once again, just clipping southern Vietnam, moving off here on this westerly projection, slowly reorganizing. So moisture coming in all the way up there towards Bangkok, even farther towards the south Phuket here. I do think you're going to get some strong thunderstorms and rain showers out of the storm system. But that's really my thoughts on this one at this time. Mainly Vietnam is the main threat area. Also, just real quickly, let's look a little bit farther towards the west into the Bay of Bengal, since we're already kind of looking off into this direction, and take a look at this area of convection in this region, moving off towards the north, and then eventually it does look like it possibly could organize and push into the eastern portions of India, the Bangladesh area, and you do not need any rainfall at all. That area floods quite easily, so we're definitely going to keep a very close eye on this system into the coming days. Right now, still fairly disorganized, well out to sea, and not really affecting anybody, but if you are across any of these coastlines, keep your eyes towards the sea if this one does decide to develop up. Right now is that low pressure area right there. We do have our tropical depression at 1002 HPA according to the Thailand Meteorological Department, just showing that moving off on that westerly projection. And then we're talking about this low pressure area just towards the east of the Philippines. At this time, this is moving on a moderate westerly projection, but the PAGASA, the Philippine Weather Agency out here, is actually notifying, mentioning many of the places in southern Versailles, noting to Mindanao that there is a risk of some flash flooding with this storm system, and even some landslides as it does continue to track off there towards the west. Meanwhile, that moisture with it being pumped onshore there in northern Luzon, also expecting some rainfall as it goes on this trek. Now, you can see a lot of the cloud cover did dissipate here through these evening hours, but I do think tomorrow, once we start getting that daytime heating back, maybe into the morning hours as well, these might start to fire back up. But nonetheless, do expect some increase in rain showers across these areas going into Thursday and then eventually Friday. Nothing too significant, but some localized areas, once again, could see some flash flooding, especially into the cities. You get the urban flooding out here, specifically Cebu. And also here in the western portions of Visayas, there was a significant 5.6 magnitude earthquake today that did really shake up the area. So adding loose soil combined with the heavy rainfall could bring the risk of some landslides. So definitely want to watch out for that. Now, you're looking at right now is an absolutely great article Adonis put together here on the earthquake. If you are in the area, I do highly suggest, if you're anywhere worldwide actually, highly suggest taking a look at this massive jolt that hit western Visayas. No damage reported so far, but this combined with the rain could cause something. So we definitely want to continue to keep our eyes out here in the Philippines. Let's pull back and talk about that snow up in Japan, really switching gears here. Now, it's not just snow, actually. It's some heavy rainfall, even some thunderstorm activity out across much of this area. Actually, in Wakayama, there was a tornado reported earlier on Wednesday here. So definitely it is some severe weather occurring. And see all these clouds coming across? Well, that is indicated of two things. Cold air running over warm sea surface temperatures, but if the air is cold enough, in some of these regions you're seeing some snow, especially into the higher elevations. You can see some significant buildup here just towards the west of Tokyo. Tokyo right here in the Kanto Plain, rather decent outside. Temperatures lingering around into the mid-20s, lows getting down to the single digits, but not seeing any snowfall. But here in the higher elevations, farther inland, you are seeing it. Even Fuji, you can see from here the snow blowing off during the daylight. So it is there. It's just a little bit out and also off towards Hokkaido. Meanwhile, northeastern China and also Russia getting their fair share over the past several days due to all these series of storm systems that are moving through there. Extending off of this next system that's coming off China, that is bringing some rain showers there now. That's going to push off here towards the northwest, and that will be the next storm system into the weekend across Japan. So have your umbrellas ready because it's going to be a wet one out here. Definitely want to continue to keep our eyes out on the horizon. But that is all for right now, everybody. Thanks again for watching here at Western Pacific Weather. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please post them in the comment box below. And as always, by no means are we an official forecasting agency. We're just here to share our opinions with you and try to relay all the information. Please refer to your local agency out here. As far as Tropical Systems, JMA is the official agency. And also, if you are in Vietnam, please continue to check in with that one. But thanks again for watching. Stay safe and have a great day.